Welcome back. Another one just eat us. As the son of Mothered Ashikba Olashegbe says that there was jubilation in some part of Oyo when the Alaafin died. Let's get into the details. The late Ashikba of Oyo, High Chief Amuda Olorukoshebi, was gruesomely murdered on November 26, 1992. His assailants were said to have twisted his neck and poured acid in his mouth to be sure he was dead because they believed he could rise up again. The killings triggered tension in Isale Oyo, and the corpse was not buried for 7 years. One of Olorukoshebi's children, Olashegba, tells Olufemi Olaniyi his last moments with his father and his father's relationship with the late Alaafin of Oyo, Obalamidi Adeyemi. Let's get more information. He said, I was about 27 years old then. I was observing the 1 year mandatory National Youth Service at the time. That was about 30 years ago. When asked how did he receive the news of his killing, he said, I was shocked and the killing was painful and is still painful even till now. When asked also if he could recall his last interaction with his father before his death, he said, I saw him 2 days before the incident. He was killed on the morning. It was a great shock. I was with him on Tuesday night and he was gruesomely murdered on Thursday morning. There was no access to telephone like we have now when the incident happened. So I was told the following week. They sent someone to me to call me from where I was serving. My father was to attend the graduation ceremony on one of his daughters at the technical college, and he had also planned to attend the naming ceremony of a child of one of his brothers the same day at Ijawaya before he was killed. He had 2 ceremonies to attend on the day he was murdered. The whole family, residents of Oyotan, and even those outside Oyo were pained by the killing. It's a great pain and only the Lord can heal the pain. When asked exactly why and where he was murdered, he said he was lured to the place where he was killed at Ijawaya Ashikba village. He had a fish pond that was around Oyo town at Ajegunle area. When asked by Olaniyi who were the people that lured him to the place, he said, that is where the law is an ass. They said if you want to prove murder cases, it must be proved beyond circumstantial evidence that what someone does to kill must be established before such suspects can be nailed. Many were left off the hook during the investigation, but around 1997 or 1998, 2 of those arrested were jailed. The court held that they were accomplices but could not prove that they actually killed my father. The court said the late Alaafin sent them on an errand. A note, which was one of the exhibits, was tendered before the court. The note hung on the door at the Ida in quarters of the Alaafin. When asked what was the content of the note, he said, I can't recall, but Alaafin sent those 2 people on an errand and they were asking for their fee. They said he neglected them and refused to pay them for carrying out that particular act. Anyway, a judgment was given and they were sent to 7 years imprisonment. One of them is an ophthalmologist, or he had something to do with the eyes. He followed the Alaafin to the United Kingdom within that same year Ashikba was killed. It was proved in court. The car they used to trail him to where he was killed was imported, and the car should still be at the Oyo State High Court up to now. It was there for many years. The car was brought into the country by one of Alaafin's companies, he said. When asked that people believe that his father had spiritual power and he could not be killed just like that, they asked how powerful is he spiritually? He said, what will you say of somebody like the late Chief Gani Faremi? Did he also have such powers? When you are fighting on the side of the oppressed, God has a way of protecting you. But people will think that such protection is conferred by Juju, but God is the most powerful one. He, my father, was a devoted Muslim. Well, he said he trusted in God. He did not harbor other religions, and on some occasions, people would come and pray in his palace and he would join them. He also used to attend churches, but as a Yoruba man, he could have a way of protecting himself, but I can't say. When asked, is it true that Ashikba always antagonized Oba Adeyemi? His son replied, no, but he always tried to stop excesses. For example, he did not allow the Alaafin to take possession of lands that did not belong to him. He would stand against that. He did that on many occasions. He did not want people to be cheated. He would challenge such acts of oppression in court. He stated that his father challenged Oba Adeyemi in court on many occasions, but he did not know how many times. He said yes, he did that. He raised some vital question on the right concerning the chieftaincy title. That case came up the week Abiola was to be installed as the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Judgment was delivered on Friday, a day to the installation ceremony. That was the only time he confronted the Alaafin. Before then, it was the Alaafin that was giving him problems and challenging him. Alaafin removed him from office as the Ashikba in 1978, but he was reinstated around 1981. It was the Alaafin that was causing trouble, says his son. He continued, and like the time the talking drum bequeathed to him by his ancestor was removed from his palace, and some other things like that. But he stood his ground despite all those troubles, and that was why Alaafin said my daddy was stubborn. They believed that he was not taken out, they might not have peace, so he was eliminated. When Olani asked what grounds did he have against Abiola's installation as the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, he stated that he, Ashikba, and being one of the Oyomesi, he had a role to play in the installation of the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, but that the Alaafin did not carry his father along. Perhaps Alaafin sidelined his father because he believed Ashikba was always challenging his authority, but that is not true. The issue is that the progenitors of the Ashikba were the real founders of the present Oyo town and not Atiba, who was also there. The present Oyo was formerly known as Agor Oja. When it was established, Oja himself was the one who headed the settlement then, and he was called Bale. Oja was a warrior and a hunter. He was killed in a particular war, I think the War of Kanla. His brother, Elebu, became the Bale after him. Atiba happened to be a stranger in the place, but he married the daughter of Oja. It was when Atiba was going to Ijaye to see his brother that he stopped at Agor Oja and spent some days, and Oja sent some of his warriors to follow him to Ijaye to see his brother. When he got to Ijaye, his brother was threatened and said two princes could not be in the same town. So he asked him to go to his in-laws' place at Agor Oja to stay with him. Oja allowed him so that he too would be seeing his daughter. By that time, Oyo Ile had been scattered and they settled in about 8 places before this present one. But Oja was warned by the priest and his brother that he should not allow Atibas to stay with him at Agor Oja. Unfortunately, he became another troublesome visitor. He started a war later and Oja was killed in the war, while his brother was also killed in another war. What I am saying is in a book, Agor Oja. The third person became the Bale, but he was not as powerful as the other brothers. That was when they were trying to re-establish Oyo Ile, and that was how Atiba became the Alaafin at Agor Oja, which is now known as Oyo. Atiba changed the title of Bale of Agor Oja to Ashikba, and that was how Atiba became the head of the town. When asked, so we can say Atiba was the first Ashikba then, he said, yes, he was the first Ashikba. The name of the town was also changed from Agor Oja to Agor Doyo. Later, Agor was removed from it and the town became Oyo. I always query it whenever they call this place Oyo Alaafin. It should be Oyo Oja. The title of Ashikba was changed by a committee during the tenure of former governor Adebayo Alao Akala to Alago Oja. The late Alaafin had already removed Ashikba from the Oyo Mesi. Well, but is Alago Oja not part of the Oyo Mesi? He stated no. They now maintain the Bale status. When asked, is the person now occupying the stool from your lineage? He answered yes. He was further asked in the interview if he would be interested in becoming Alago Oja when the stool becomes vacant in the future. He said that is left to God. We are in God's hand. It continued 7 years. He was gruesomely murdered on November 26, 1992, but was buried either November 26 or 27, 1999. It took us 7 good years. It was after the civil rule started in 1999 that he was buried. When asked why was the body kept for that long, he answered, "We were waiting for justice to be served." They also asked him, "Did Alaafin visit your family when Ashikaba was killed?" "No, he didn't," he replied. He was also asked, "Will you say your father offended Oba Adeyemi in any way?" He answered, "I don't think so. About 2 weeks before he was murdered, Ashikaba went and prostrated before the Alaafin during a program at the Atiba Hall, but he snubbed him. It was in the presence of everybody in the hall. He went to the hall and prostrated before him as a show of respect. Despite that, the Alaafin had banished him from the palace then. That showed his humility and the deep respect he had for the Alaafin, despite the unkind treatment he got from Alaafin." Going further, the interviewer asked him, "But did your family forgive Oba Adeyemi before he died?" He replied, "You know, forgiveness is very key in the Bible. The Bible says, if you do not forgive others of their trespasses, your heavenly Father won't forgive you of your own trespasses too." It was very painful, but we tried as much as possible to put it away from our minds. The interviewer continued further, "Is there a possibility of people from your family marrying people from Oba Adeyemi's family?" He said, "That is left to God." The interviewer pushed further, "How old was your father when he was killed?" He said, "He was over 70 years old. He was older than Oba Adeyemi." He was also asked, "Will you want the case to be reopened for fresh investigation?" He said, "Sure." Even the judge who presided over the matter in 1994 said that the last had not been heard about the case. "I know one day somebody will pick it up and reopen the investigation. I believe a thorough investigation will be carried out either by a private investigator or the government to uncover those who masterminded the murder and those who executed the plans. It was a terrible act. Look at the killing of the late Chief Bola Ige, of blessed memory, and they are here to fish out the killers, but we believe that it will be done one day." When asked, "What fond memories of your father do you have?" he said, "I have a lot of such. He was such a humble person. He fought the cause of the oppressed and he was a giver. I remember there was a time one of the Togolese farm laborers held the christening ceremony of his son. My father went to his village despite the very far distance. He did not consider anyone too low to relate with." When asked how his father was killed, he said, "My father was killed in a gruesome manner. It was dastardly done. They overpowered him, twisted his neck, and poured acid down his throat. When the coroner was explaining how he was killed in the court, he wept. Nobody should die like that, but everything is in the court of God now. All of them would have appeared before their Creator. He is the only one who would determine which side each of them would go." Well, may his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Now, people talk about how Oba Adeyemi was a great Alaafin of Oyo, how he ruled for 52 years without any complaint. But now we are hearing from another side that is saying that the late Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, might have had an hand in the death of his father Ashikaba. Do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and turn on your notifications to get more news updates from us. Thank you.